Shavua Tov Shalom. Welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land with me, Rolene Marks, where we take a look at those top stories making headlines here in Israel and the region every Monday to Thursday. So let's kick off with those top stories, and we begin with the incoming Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's legal woes. Earlier today, he won his defamation case against former Prime Minister Ehud Olmert. The incoming Prime Minister won on one of two accounts. Now, he sued Olmert for saying that the Netanyahu family is crazy. However, the deciding judges ruled that it sounded like Olmert was giving a medical diagnosis, that the comment sounded very close to some kind of medical statement, which it wasn't. It is reported that Netanyahu is seeking about 97,000 shekels in damages from Olmert. At least 180 different organizations that really spans the who's who of the Zionist and Jewish world, including signatories like World WITSO, Honest Reporting, UN Watch, NGO Monitor, the World Jewish Congress, the International Legal Forum, Zionist Federation, student unions, the Lawfare Project, and so many more have signed a letter to Elon Musk, the new CEO of Twitter, urging him to adopt the IRA definition of anti-Semitism. Now, the IRA definition of anti-Semitism is the gold standard legal definition by which we measure what is anti-Semitism. As we say, you've got to define it to fight it. So far, about 37 countries have formally adopted IRA. Just over the weekend, the Canadian city of Vancouver adopted the IRA definition of anti-Semitism. And basically, what it does is it lays out the clear parameters by which we define anti-Semitism. While there might be some criticism by some who might be trying to get their particular brand of anti-Semitism through the door, it does allow for the criticism of Israeli policies, which of course is the national sport here in Israel. But what it very, very clearly states is that you cannot demonize the Jewish people and the Jewish state. You cannot deny or use Holocaust revisionism. You cannot use ethnic slurs and degrading language. And you can't say that Jews have no right to a nation state of their own and a national liberation movement, which is called Zionism. If you want to learn more about it, please look at our website at layoftheland.online. We do have articles that do discuss the IRA definition of anti-Semitism. Now, why so many organizations are urging Musk to adopt it is that social media platforms, especially Twitter, have become cesspits of anti-Jewish rhetoric. Just last night, Kanye West, or Ye as he calls himself, was reinstated. This follows a month-long ban for his comment that he is going to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. And we know over the last month the incredible rise in anti-Jewish slurs and replacement rhetoric that has happened, as well as violent acts. Ye tweeted out Shalom, which of course means peace, hello and goodbye in Hebrew. And at this stage, we just think he is trolling us. Some of us, including myself, had some rather choice language for him, including telling him to foxtrot Oscar. In other news, it was announced on Friday by the Azerbaijani foreign minister that the country of Azerbaijan, which is strategically located on the border with Iran, will be opening an embassy in Tel Aviv. Now, this is hugely significant, not just because of where Azerbaijan is situated, but because the country has a majority Shiite Muslim population and majority Shiite Muslim government. Prime Minister Lapid says we welcome the decision by the Azerbaijani National Assembly to open their embassy in Tel Aviv in Israel, and that Israel wants to build bridges with the Muslim world. So we are still looking to see who's next on our normalization bingo. And our final story, of course I have to mention it, guys. Come on, it is World Cup. Everybody's got World Cup fever, or maybe not as delirious with it as we have been in the past, considering the host country, Qatar, which has come under a lot of criticism for their dismal human rights record. So the World Cup kicked off in the capital Doha last night with an opening ceremony that the BBC refused to flight, instead rather choosing to focus on human rights abuses. And there have been quite a lot of controversies, the ban on beer notwithstanding. Pictured greeting the Emir of Qatar was Mahmoud Abbas, the Palestinian Authority president. Meanwhile, a lot of fanfare yesterday as the first chartered flight carrying football or soccer fans from Israel and the Palestinian areas departed for the opening of the games. Qatar, in case you are keeping score, lost 2-0 to Ecuador. Meanwhile, Israeli journalists have been harassed while trying to report. There have been a few cases that they have been surrounded by those chanting Yalla Yalla, leave Israel, while holding Palestinian flags outside the stadium as well as in a nearby shuk. Meanwhile, also controversy around whether or not there will be an availability of kosher food. There were some reports yesterday that kosher food would not be available to Jewish fans. However, there will be one area where kosher food will be available. It's under the Rabbinut of Turkey. And if anybody is visiting the games and would like kosher food, please check it out. There is a small availability of it. However, Jews are forbidden to openly worship in Qatar. So that brings me to the end of today's broadcast. Yes, we will be trying to bring you some newsworthy stuff coming from the World Cup. And in the meantime, don't forget to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. Also, we are on Facebook. Our page is at Lottel Site, and we would love it if you haven't already done so to like us, follow us, share our content. Our YouTube channel is at the Israel Brief. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider hitting that red subscribe button. And just a reminder, because I have had some comments and questions, we bring you the news. This is not necessarily an endorsement of any political party or any political position, but the Israel Brief brings you the news that is making headlines in Israel. We try as much as possible to be as non-partisan as we possibly can be. And of course, our Twitter handle is Lay of the Land 5. That's at Lay of the Land 5. I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief, and join me again tomorrow for your top stories.